Hello, Michael Williams, CEO, Reasons 1816, coming to you with this tutorial that I've been promising for a year now. I finally got the tools and the resources to do it. I'm sorry, my eyeball's itching. It's 11:35, so I thought I'd show you how I make a couple flyers, give you a quick tutorial. I'll try my best to go as slow as possible. So let's get started. Here we are with the information, and let's get it into Photoshop to see what we can get done. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go back to Photoshop, and I'm going to hit the tab key. Actually, I'm going to erase that dot I made and actually go back and hit the tab key right here. Tab key turns your toolbars on and off, so that is something that you'll use frequently. I've already pasted the logo in the document over here to the right. If you notice on the right, there is a little bit of a, I don't know what I'm trying to say. So over here to the right, actually let me zoom out. Over here to the right, there is your layers panel. So this is where all your magic happens. So right here we have the logo, and what I'm going to do right now is position that logo somewhere in the bottom right hand corner. Now colors of the flyer are I'm going to go with gray, pink, and black to kind of match the flyer. So I'm going to hit Control, Shift, and N. It's going to give me a new layer. I'm going to name that layer gray. And I'm going to hit the G key. And up here in the upper right hand corner, you'll see, actually let me get back to that. I'm going to hit G. In the upper right hand corner, hold on a second. In the upper right hand corner here, if I hit G over here, you get to see your gradient right here. So your gradient tool is where I'm actually going to change the color. So I'm going to hit the color tool, and I'm going to go with actually use the eyedropper to pick that gray. And I'm going to actually come up from the bottom right of this gray layer and make that a gray swoosh. Now, as you notice, there is a, right here, you'll see that the logo is behind the color. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You'll see the logo is behind the color, and so we need to kind of not do that. So what we're going to do is we are going to move the gray layer below the white layer, the logo layer. And I'm going to double click on that and name it logo. In order to get that to be a blend, you're going to actually click on what's called the blending properties over here to the right, and that's found next to the layer, and I'll show you where that is. It's right here on the layers, right above here. And I guess I'll draw something around there so you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to change that to multiply. Oops, wrong layer. Make sure you click on the logo layer. Changing it to multiply. Bam, the color's gone. So now I'm going to hit the V key to get back to your move tool, which is you're going to use your move tool a lot. So I'm going to move that down there. I'm going to do Control, Shift, and N. I'm a PC dude, so there you go. Control, Shift, and N. I'm going to do white glow. That's what I'm going to name the layer. And you'll find out that a lot of this stuff that I'm doing is simple. I'm going to move the white glow layer below the logo layer. I'm going to hit the B key for my brush tool, and I'm going to hit D. D is going to change my colors to black and white, and then I'm going to hit X. X is going to change it to white as the primary color, and I'm going to hit the left bracket key, which is right next to the P, and I'm simply just going to make a little bit of a brush impression so it looks like the logo is glowing. Is what I want. And that takes care of how I want the logo to look. Now I want to incorporate some pink, so I'm going to hit a new layer and go pink. Then I'm going to take the eye tool and I'm going to highlight the pink, and it's more of a magenta color. And on the pink layer, I'm actually going to use the gradient tool again, which I like to use, and I'm going to drag it over from right to left. I'm going to hold down the shift key so it's a straight gradient. And as you see, the gradient comes in like that. Now, for me, that's too much pink, and that messes up my logo down here in the bottom left-hand corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Control-Shift-N, make a new white layer, and I am going to hit D again for black and white, and I'm going to hit X to change it. And then I'm just going to come up from the bottom right-hand corner with white, so I can keep the the integrity of that logo. And then there you go. So I've got my gray, pink, and my white in there. I'm going to hit Control-0. That's going to keep that right in the screen where I need it to go. Now I'm going to go over to my text file, and here's all the information. Twofold Ministries kind of presents. So I'm going to copy the twofold, Control copy, and go back to my Photoshop file. I'm going to hit T, and I'm going to just click anywhere in there, and it's going to give me an option to add text. Now you can't see that text, so I'm going to click on over here in the panel right here. This is your text area right here, and this is where all your magic happens. So I am zooming in too far, so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to change that text to, hold on, my phone's ringing. Yeah, I'm just going to text them. I'm going to actually change that font to a Times Roman, because I like Times. And that's going to change it up here to Times Roman. I'm going to hit Control T and resize it. I'm going to hit Enter. And actually, I'm going to do Twofold Ministries Present. So now I got to do some typing. Now, obviously, I can't see that. So I'm almost positive I spelled some words wrong. I'm going to hit Alt backspace, or Control backspace is going to change it to black. Control T to resize it again. And in order to resize it and scale, just hold down Shift. Now I'm going to go back and spell presents right, because I didn't. And put that there and hit Control Enter or Command Enter on a Mac. Now I'm actually going to scroll through some fonts to see which one I like. I kind of like that right there, which is Trade Gothic. If you have it, cool. If you don't, oh well. And I like to kind of space my text out, so I'm going to make that 100. It's called kerning, I believe. And so I'm going to hit Control T and make that even smaller. Hit Enter, and I'm actually going to make the text even wider to 250. To where it spreads across the top, and the way you spread that out is over here where it says VA. That's where you change it to 250. So my text size is not really important. There's your Trade Gothic. So here's your font right here. Here is your text width. I don't know what your professional people call it, but I just call it text width. So that's what I do. And now we have Twofold Ministries. If I right click on it, Twofold Ministries, put that, and I'm going to hit something we graphic designers love to hit. It's called Save. I'm going to Control Save it and save it on my desktop as Twofold. You can save it wherever. Bam, hit OK. Now I'm going to go back to my text file, and it's going to say the word experience. Now I'm going to copy everything, but I'm already actually Control Copy. Go back into my Photoshop. I'm going to hit Control V, because you can do that. And I want experience to be something different, so I'm going to cut that out. And T, I'm going to hit experience. I want experience to kind of stretch across the flyer, which I've done this a few times. So I want word to be big and bold. I'm going to Control cut that out. see I'm kind of building my flyer. And I cut it out, and I'm using the V key to move every layer. So when I right click on the layer, which is the word the, if you hit the V key, that's your move tool to where you can move it. Then I'm going to right click on experience and move that down to about right there. Then I'm going to hit T key. I'm going to click anywhere on the screen, and I'm going to hit Control V, and that's going to give me the word. Now everything else I'm doing here is going to be pretty simple. I'm using that Control T to resize it. I want to take the text spacing back down to 0 so that it's right next to each other. I actually want to take that down to like -50 because I want that to be close together. Now this is a little bit of a more feminine flyer, so I'm going to try to change my text to something more feminine, and I don't really know fonts names, so I'm just going to scroll to something that has a little bit of curve to it and it's still readable. So I'm going to try Coma Latin. I'm not really digging that. That's ugly. Let me try Hand. I'm not really digging that. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Impact. I'm going to use Impact like this, and then I'm going to right click on the experience. Once I get it, right click on experience, drag that down. I'm going to make experience 0, and I am actually going to make experience girly type font. So I'm going to make experience Jelly Cod Delicious Cake. Cool, I like that. But I am going to go back in here and hit T, and I'm going to have to make these lowercase. Say EXPRAN. Graphic designers, do not depend on your clients to spell check, because they won't. So just get over it. So I'm going to make that experience Control T again, hold down Shift and make that like that. Alright, click on Word, hit the V key to drag that down, and for the, I'm going to make the same thing. Let's do THE, and I'm going to change that font spacing back to 0, and I'm actually going to go old school. Actually, I'm going to go Scriptina. I know I said in an earlier tutorial to retire Scriptina, but I'm going to use Scriptina in this tutorial. I'm already at 12 minutes, so I need to hurry up. And I'm going to make the font Jelly Cod, I'm going to make that match. Yeah, so that's cool. So I'm going to hit Control T, and I'm going to space that out a little bit. And I'm going to move Word to the middle, so we got a lot of information to put on this flyer. If you look at the information here, I'm going to hit Control S and save it, and that's the crux of my flyer. Now I'm going to do something I never do and show you where I get some of my photos. If you go to a link called creationswap.com, bam, there you go. So you see that. I'm going to put a Bible on here. Go in here and find a Bible that I like. So you want to try not to use Google as much as I use it, because you can run into legality issues. This Bible right here I use all the time, so I want to try to find something a little different. There's only 6 pages, so I don't really have a lot of choices. Once again, I just want an image of a Bible. And there's silence because I can't find what I want. I kind of like this one right here. So I'm going to download it. Make sure you agree to license terms, Creative Commons, and that's pretty big. So you are going to right click, copy image, go over here to Photoshop, and Control V, paste it. That's great. Now there's a couple of things we can do here. Of course, you can just drop it in the background, and you go over to the layer, name it Bible, and go to the blending properties that I showed you earlier and change that to lighten. Lighten will get rid of all of the black in any photograph and kind of blend out the back. Now that is the way you can drop it on top of a black text, and of course I can hit Control T and still resize it. to where it's just really most of the word right there. So that looks like the Bible to me. I can right click on Word, and I'm a shortcut key guy, so you're gonna have to catch up. I'm gonna hit Alt L Y K. Alright, and what that's gonna do is give me my effects. I want stroke, I want it to be a gradient, and I'm going to change it to one of my favorite gradients right here, so it's got a little flair to it. So I got this little flare like right there. I can't like go any slower, so I'm gonna run this at kind of an angle like that. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm running at an angle to where it's kind of glossy looking. I'm gonna click OK. Now if you notice that you can't really see the entire word only because of the image on top of it, like that's how it looks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hit the W key and select all of the black inside. And this is actually the black text. And then I'm going to go to my Bible layer. I'm going to hit Control Shift and I to invert it. And I'm just going to get rid of all of the extra stuff, all of the extra picture outside of Word. So now when I hit Control D, which is deselect, now the word makes a little bit, it's a little bit clearer. And I'll actually just zoom into Photoshop so you can see what I just did. So I hit Tab key to get rid of that. I'm going to hit Control minus to zoom out. I'm going to hit Control save. The experience needs a little something on it, so I'm going to add an outer glow. Alt L Y. Obviously, this is not an introductory level course right here. This is somebody who has Photoshop. I'm going to make that stand out a little bit, give it a little spread, give it a little experience, a little bit of spread. I'm going to hit OK, and that's looking good. Now I can hit Tab and go to Experience and right click on it and hit Copy Layer Style and go to the and Paste Layer Style, so I get the exact same effect, which is what I want. Bam. So that's my basis of my flyer. I'm going to hit Control Save. And that's the basis of it. I mean, down here on the logo, I'm going to right click on the logo and kind of size it down a little bit. I'm going to go on to the what is basically the glow behind it. I need that to be a little bit brighter, so I'm going to click on the white layer, the white glow layer. I'm going to hit Control J to kind of double it up. So I've actually, what I did is just duplicated the layer, and I'm going to drag that layer above the pink layer so you can kind of see it a little more. And I'm going to move that white glow around so it's a little bit more behind the logo. So I've just shown you in about 18 minutes how to build the basis of your flyer, and I can actually start from scratch again to kind of show you what we did. I'm just turning off all the layers over here in the layers panel. I started with the logo in the bottom left hand corner. I actually have a white background because that's how Photoshop works. I added the gray, and you can't see the logo anymore, so I added a white glow layer underneath it to let the logo stand out. And I added a pink layer which comes in on the left side. Then I added a white layer to the bottom left so that the logo would keep its integrity. Then I added the words, which were changed the font to Scriptina, Word, which was just Impact, and Experience, which is Scriptina again. Then I added a picture on top of Word that had a lot of black in it, changed that layer via the blending options to screen, so I got rid of the black. Then I deleted all of the outside text that was actually the outside area that was on top of Word, so the word can actually just be all you could see was the word. All you can see was the Bible inside of the Word. I keep saying Word, so like Word, and Word, Word. Then I added the Twofold Ministries at the top, Presents. Now, obviously, there's a whole lot of space up here in the top, so I mean, if you wanted, you could hit the T key and maybe, enter that hit Control Enter, and then maybe pull it down like that, so it looks a little less space. And I'm gonna hit. I actually can click on all of these. I'm using Control click to click on everything so I can move it all up. That looks better. And I'm gonna hit Control S to save it. And that is the basis of how my flyer is gonna look, just like that. So I'll just continue to add information down here, and that's it. So that's a intermediate level tutorial on how to build a foundation for your flyer. Thank you for watching. Later.